This is day 3 of the challenge that I've set for myself to talk to the camera every day for 30 days. I'm really excited about today, where I am going to walk you through what a normal day in my life looks like. So I am normally awake by 6 a.m. and my mornings look like one of two things. I am either waking up early, sometimes it's early as 4:50, sometimes it's a little bit later at 5:30. I'll be up and out the door ready to go for a run. There's a couple groups that are in the close proximity to where we live. One is at the YMCA in downtown Salisbury, and then one is just a little bit further away that's more in the country in China Grove. And those are just some awesome groups, some really good friends. If you haven't seen, check out yesterday's video where I talked about how running has really changed my life. Part of that is driven by the group of friends that I'm able to run with. So if it's an early morning at 4:50 in order to get to China Grove at 5:30, or if it's a 5:30 start to get to the Salisbury YMCA at 6 a.m., that's where my mornings start. And there's really not much of a better way to get the day started than going for a run, especially when it's in the 20s or the teens. That's just painful. But once you get out and once you get started, it feels really good and everything kind of loosens up. Everything feels better. Your body warms up and the day's just started well. The thing that I like to joke about with my wife is that, like, the best part about running in the mornings is that your brain hasn't told you that this is a bad idea because you're still asleep until halfway through the run, and then you might as well just finish because, well, you're halfway through the run. So that's one way that my mornings start. The other way is if I'm not planning on taking a run day, or if I'm taking a rest day, then my day starts at 6 a.m. and I head out. I'm either building a fire if it's in the wintertime, or starting a nice hot tea. Some of my favorite teas are the turmeric tea with orange. I like to put honey and a little bit of almond milk in it. It's so good. And that's the way that I like to start my morning, making a tea, sitting on the couch, and having my quiet time. Just some time to be away from everything, phones off, getting into the Bible, spending some time just reading and learning. That's a really sweet time for me, and it's always better with turmeric tea. So that's the two versions of my morning that usually gets me to 7 a.m. That is when our two awesome kids, Bo and Annabelle, that's when they're waking up. 7 a.m. on the dot is when they're allowed to come out of their rooms and greet us. If they're awake that early, if they sleep in past that, that's cool too. So 7 a.m., they come out, and then it's really family time from then until about 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is when I'm able to kind of shift gears, get myself ready. If I'm heading into the office, if I'm working from home, it's time for me to head back to the office here at the house. Normal work day, I have a desk job, work in e-commerce for a grocery retailer on the East Coast, and that's pretty much my whole work day. So I try to budget my time well with working through emails, working through whatever PowerPoint I'm building that seems to be like a full-time job, and a lot of meetings. So that is typically what one of my work days will look like, starting at 8 a.m., working through the day, having meetings up until 5 p.m., when I try my best to wrap things up so that I can get back to the family. 5 p.m. is usually like the time that I'm turning off work stuff and shifting my focus back to the family, and trying my best to just take that time and spend it with Bo and Annabelle, spend it with Katie. We usually have dinner sometime around 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Really, that time is like a sweet time where there's not much on the agenda. It's really just spending time and hanging out. Sometimes it's playing games, sometimes it's wrestling on the floor, sometimes it's playing outside. But those are the things that really like cause me to that's what makes me tick. That's what I love. So that takes us to dinner time. We are a family around the table every single night kind of family. That's what we do. We enjoy our meals together, and Katie or I are usually the ones that are cooking. We rarely eat out. I know it's kind of boring, but we rarely eat out. And so the time around the table is special, and it's every night, and we're all around the table. Nobody gets a hall pass unless they're really sick. So generally we do dinner. After that, it is bath time for the kids. And then we move into this really sweet, awesome time that we've instituted, and it's become a habit in our family, and it's an awesome time. And that's our time after bath time, but before we close the door to say goodnight with our kids. So we usually go through and have a devotional with the kids. And I say usually, this is like, unless something's come up at night, or we're out of the house at night and we're flying in, just trying to get everybody to bed quickly. This is what we do. So we have a devotion, we have time reading the Bible with the kids, and then a time where we pray together. And so we walk through a couple different ways, not really ways of praying, but prayer types. So we spend time just in adoration, talking about how good God is. Then we spend some time in confession, where we're just confessing our sin before God. And then we spend time in gratitude, just telling God how thankful we are for the things that He's given us. And then the last thing is we pray for something, prayers of supplication. And we have this little cup of popsicle sticks that have different names on it or groups of people on it. Some are our close friends, some are our family. Some of the popsicle sticks are people that work at our church. Some are missionaries that we pray for. One is a child that we support with Compassion International. So all different types. We stick our hand in, we each pull one out, and then we go around the circle and we pray for whoever's on the popsicle stick that we got. And so that is like a really sweet time. From there, we split up, and Katie and Annabelle get to spend a little bit of time together, while Bo and I get to spend a little bit of time together. And in this time, it's just reading books. Sometimes it's just talking. But that is a time where like we have that one-on-one time to just connect and really like close out the day with our kids. That's pretty much it. From then on, it's like whatever energy we have left, that's where we get to spend time with each other. Usually there's not a lot left because there's still dishes, there's still things to clean up and pick up, get in bed. As we get in bed, like our intention is to read every night. That doesn't happen. For me, at least. That doesn't happen that often. But we have that time in bed before we go to bed or before we go to sleep. And the nice thing about that is like we're there, we're able to talk, we're able to connect. And we're going to bed at the same time, which like I value that so much. I think that's has been really important in our marriage. And so I value that time. And then it's lights out. Our goal was like 9:30. Sometimes it's 10 o'clock. But if we're both waking up early to get our workout in, sometimes it's like 8:45. Don't judge us. So that's pretty much a wrap. That's a day in the life of Caleb. And I just want to say thank you for checking this video out. If you are curious about what my hobby is, or if you want to see what day 1 of this challenge was, check these videos out. Thanks a lot. We'll see you on the next one.